one was on Long Island and one was up in Westchester County.
Oh, so that was a distance.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
So you kept writing to each other at that point?
Of course. But then we decided we wanted to get married. But where could we live? It was we had no money.
Yeah.
And so I stayed living with my we got married
Mhm.
and we had the reception in the house in Huntington. We were married in the church, though,
Okay.
but the reception was in the house in Huntington. It was not like today. You could in when we got married those days, you could invite people to the church, and then if you wanted to be invited to the reception, that was separate.
Oh,
That's the way things worked in those days.
yeah.
And so that's what we got married and had the reception. And he had to be up in Westchester, and I had to be on Long Island. So I stayed with my mother and father during the week, and he stayed up there during the week, and he would come home on weekends.
Oh,
And so
wow.
for those first, well, almost a year, I guess, that's how we lived until the
Wow.
summers and vacations.
Oh,
We didn't know. We decided we definitely knew we wanted to get married. I mean, that was definite, even though we were only 20 and 21 at that point. We knew we wanted to get married. And so while he was teaching there and I was teaching in Franklin Square, we decided we wanted to get married. So we got engaged anyway at first. And after we were engaged, we decided, let's get married before you go away. At first, he didn't want to. He said, suppose I don't come home. You know, I'm going into the army now. I'm going into war zone. And finally, I convinced him that I wanted, yes, let's get married before you go. So we did. So we were only engaged for November, December, 3 months, and we decided to get married. So we did. We had a very nice church wedding. Um, we lots of people. We had the church was packed because we both grew up in that church, you see, and so everybody knew everybody. So the church was packed. We had a small reception at my folks' home, my family home. My mother and got made made everything. So we had maybe about 50 at the wedding, at the reception. Well, we might have had 150 or more at the but in those days, it was different. You could invite people to church, but you didn't have to invite them to the reception. Things were very different then. It, it wasn't just wartime. It was that way even before. You could have a church wedding, and the people you wanted to be at your reception. You had a regular your an announcement for the wedding that they were invited to the church and where it was and so forth. Now, if they were also invited to the reception, you put another card in it saying reception immediately following it, such a place. People did that. That was the general rule of things. It wasn't just our wedding. We had the dining room with push the table over, and they put two tiers on the dining room table with food on all of them. I know my mother roasted a turkey. She baked a ham. She did all this food for about 50 people. But that was really a normal way to have a wedding. Not necessarily. It could have been out into a venue. It didn't have to be in the house, but that's what my mother decided. They decided that that's what they could afford to do it that way, I guess. We had reservations in New York City for that night. And then we decided we'd go on just a little, not a big honeymoon. We got, we didn't have a car. Neither of us had a car. So Harold borrowed his mother and father's car. We just got in the car and we just drove upstate a little way. Didn't do much. Just so we had a couple nights out like that. And then we had to get back because we both were working. We don't decided on that date because in those days you had Lincoln's birthday off and you had Washington's birthday off. Well, Washington's we were married the day before Washington's birthday, so we had a couple days in there, and we each took one more day. We were married on a Saturday, and we came back home on Tuesday, and we went back to work on Wednesday. So we were married on the 21st of February, and we had that Monday. This was Saturday. We had Sunday, and Monday was Washington's birthday. So we had Monday off, and we took Tuesday off, and that's all the time we had off.